Let's move on to the fourth quarter, because as we're talking about positioning, don't look now, fourth quarter, LA Sparks. Should we be keeping an eye on the Sparks? They've won 4 of their last 5. They've won 9 of their last 11. Cameron Brink comes back from an ACL tear that she suffered last season. We have Kelsey Plum averaging 20 points a game. We have Dearica Hamby averaging 18 points a game. The LA Sparks have been on freaking fire. Cass, should we be paying more attention to them?
Yes, because I think they can come up and steal a playoff spot a month after we thought they were dead in the water, for lack of a better term there. They're also one of the most exciting offenses. So let me bring my notebook back out.
Get it, girl.
28 WNBA games this year have been over 100 points. So a team has scored over 100 points. 5 by Los Angeles, which ties Minnesota for the most. But Los Angeles has done them all since July 24th. They had back-to-backs, and then they lost a game, and then they had 3 in a row of 100. I think everyone is stepping up in different ways. Kelsey Plum doesn't have to facilitate the offense as much. She had talked about that this past game, I think, and also talked about she thinks she's better when she attempts fewer shots. Cameron Brink coming back, the rim protection, that's really, I think, what's going to make the difference for LA if they are to get into the playoffs is defense, because that has been a struggle. And I think having Cameron Brink back as she ramps up to minutes is going to be so important. She is an elite rim protector. I think her first game back, it was 5 blocks in 10 minutes or something. Her efficiency and the minutes that she's playing is absolutely bonkers. And so when you look at some of these teams without star players, well, Los Angeles now has one of their star players back.
And even when in the first couple of games back from injury, Cameron Brink was on a little bit of a pitch count. Look, rightfully so. You don't want to rush her in after she's been off the court for the last year. But she made her presence known, even in just the 15 give or take minutes that she played in her first 2 games back. It was highlight reel type of plays. So why not pay attention to the Los Angeles Sparks at this time? Because looking at the standings, of course, you have the Lynx at the top, you have the Liberty and the Dream and the Mercury at the top. And they've kind of shifted between 2 and 4. But you have the Sparks right up there with the Golden State Valkyries, the Seattle Storm. They're ascending, taking themselves out of the depths of the standings, and now they're putting themselves in position to be one of those postseason teams. So if they keep up this trajectory and this momentum, there's no reason to believe why the Sparks won't be in the conversation. And as we're talking about postseason and West Coast teams, we'll go into a little bit of an overtime, give you a little extra something, a little lanyap topic for you. We still have plenty of basketball left to be played before we enter the postseason. But the Golden State Valkyries are a team that I just named that are in contention for that conversation. They're sitting right at 500, 15-15, just below Seattle and just above LA. Now, if the Valkyries did make the postseason, they would be the first expansion team ever to make the postseason in their debut year. Again, we have time. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. But your impression on the Valkyries at this point, is what they're doing sustainable until the end of the season?
I want to talk about schedule. What I will say about Golden State, though, is them staying able to win without Kayla Thornton and with everyone they've had in and out of the lineup, just so impressive. Such a good job in Golden State. I think they are going to make the playoffs. But one thing to pay attention to for both Golden State and Los Angeles is their schedule down the stretch. They're kind of in that pack of the middle of easy schedules. Golden State has a little bit of a tougher schedule because they're going to have to play Minnesota twice, New York once, Atlanta once. When you look at Los Angeles, the interesting thing about them is they've already completed their Minnesota series. The one series they haven't completed, the big one, is Dallas. And especially if Paige Beckers is not available for Dallas, that's looking pretty good for LA. So, Golden State, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, maybe even Indiana in there. It's going to be nightly. Nightly, these standings are going to change.
And they already have. I mean, it's been good. That 2 through 5, 2 through 6 kind of area, and the standings have shifted so much. Expand that field even more for the Sparks, the way that they're playing, and the Valkyries and how consistent they have been. I think that's a very important point you bring up, though, when we talk about, in any sport, championship contenders or, a team that you can trust. the schedule is so pivotal in that, especially because we just highlighted the gruesome schedule truly that the Liberty have over the next couple of weeks. Well, if I have to put, stake into a team, I'm going to be looking at a team that's getting hot at the right time and that has a much more manageable upcoming schedule versus a team that's getting injured and is sliding and has an even more difficult schedule upcoming. So a very smart point by you that we have to look at some of these schedules and what's facing some of these teams when the margins of difference are like razor thin.